Hey there, welcome back to the Intuitive Empire. I have a little intro here for you because today I have a very special gift for you. What you're about to listen to, is a talk that I gave that's actually a module in my Align program. If you've never heard of my Align program, well, you're welcome to check it out. You can go to thejayarose.com/align and see what I'm talking about. But I'm going to give you a piece of it today because it's all about getting through resistance. Resistance plays such a huge part, especially for my sensitive, intuitive sisters. The flip side of inspiration and taking action sometimes can be resistance. And I know we all feel it. Trust me, I feel it. I have become a master at identifying resistance and transmuting it. I want to share with you that one of the laws of the universe, the law of perpetual transmutable energy. Say what? Yeah. Well, it's as fancy as it sounds because ultimately it declares that we always have the ability and access to shift our energy. Always. What does energy do? It moves, it shifts, it's never staying the same. And that goes for our emotions too. It's so easy to get into feelings a certain way and think, oh, this means this or that. We judge ourselves, we judge our feelings, and we start to surmise what it means. Well, I want to help you get through this. I want to help ease the resistance you may feel. And that's what this is about. Okay. So I'm going to play that for you here in a minute. It's just about 20 minutes, I think, 15 or 20 minutes. You might want to take some notes because I break down what I call the resistance triangle, and it's going to be really helpful for you. And I also want to mention to you that I'm over the freaking moon excited about this next round of Embody. It's really interesting because this is the third time I've opened doors and ran Embody. And it's been unique every time. And what happens is like the soul of Embody. So I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but I believe that all of our creative work has its own soul, and that it's us that become the vehicle for the message or the container or the work. And Embody really is this. And what I find is that the more I surrender and the more I allow the energy of Embody to be its own, it attracts the most amazing, aligned, powerful people. And so I have been on calls all day today with women saying yes to the next round of Embody. And I just want to tell you the energy that I'm feeling, because if you've heard me talking about it, if you've listened to, let's see, it must be episode 49, where I talk about Embody and I talk about like basically the soul of it and what it really is about. It's just, I want to share with you that the energy behind this is so magical. It is so magical. And really what it's about, like, I mean, I told you what it's about already, but I'll tell you again because this feels new. It feels new and renewed every time. It's really about stepping fully into your spiritual gifts, knowing that your intuition is there to support you, having the courage to follow the call, and setting up your life so that you are always being supported, and so it allows your guidance to come through and ultimately allows you to do business in a new way. It allows you to live your purpose in a powerful way, because when you resign yourself to the knowing that you are co-creating with the universe, that you have a soul agenda running through you so deeply that all you need to do is allow it to come through, and to know that all of the dreams you have are yours and they're meant for you. And this is the energy of Embody. What I teach is really around the mind, body, spirit, lead, share principle. The idea that when we are truly aligned, lit up, taking care of ourselves, our bodies, right? Embody. And we have the mindset of expansion, and we are connected spiritually to our guides and our guidance system. And then we lead ourselves on a practical level. We do the personal development work. We stand in our truth and express our needs and desires and requirements, sexy requirements. We are able to then share more powerfully. And if you have a business, you know that you sharing and being authentic and powerful is the cornerstone to you attracting in what you desire. And if you're thinking about starting a business, you know that you being clear and grounded and open to receiving guidance is the next step. So if this feels resonant to you, please reach out, because there is only a week and a half left to even get on a call with me, and it's going to go fast. And I want you to get in on this round so that you can finish out 2019 more powerfully and in alignment than you even thought was possible. All right. So all you need to do is click the link in the show notes to fill out an application, or you can go to thejayarose.com/embody. And for now, enjoy this talk on resistance and getting through that resistance. If what I just told you happened to give you any resistance, well, this is going to be perfect for you. All right. I hope to see you in my inbox reaching out about Embody. I hope that you're ready to join the ride. All right, enjoy this episode. Oh yeah, welcome to the Intuitive Empire. I'm your host, Jaya Rose, and we can finally get started because you are here. And if you are ready to energetically align with your desires, own your innate magic, and step powerfully into your spiritual leadership, well, love, you're in the right place. Let's do the damn thing already. Hello, love, and welcome to your talk on resistance. As I know that resistance is the number one thing that comes up when you really start declaring what you desire and stepping in to the value and the worth that you already have. You know you're capable of having this thing, but then the resistance comes up. So this audio is dedicated to that. You're welcome to listen to it anytime you are cruising to your next level, you are committing to what you desire, because this stuff will come up. So first and foremost, I want to say that when resistance comes up, it is a good thing. And I know that it feels yucky and it feels like maybe it's stopping you, and it can be confusing because different messages come through when we feel resistant to what it is we're desiring, and we can start to question, like, is this even right for me? And what I want to say is that resistance is a part of growth, okay? As you grow, you need to have resistance to have expansion. It is two sides of the same coin. It's polarity, and it will always be here. So it's not about not having it. You're not doing anything wrong if you feel resistant, if you feel anxious, if you feel overwhelmed, okay? It's just that it's a warning sign telling you that you are expanding. You are expanding. That is why you have resistance. And I want you to use it as an opportunity to really commit, but also to show up for yourself. So the more that you show up for yourself, the more you are consistently giving grace to yourself and getting out of your own way by really loving yourself completely. Even when you have resistance, especially when you have resistance, you actually build the muscle of trust and intuition. Because when you are saying it's okay to have this resistance, you're actually saying it's okay for me to grow, and it's okay for me to follow my guidance, and it's okay for me to have these desires. So when we judge the resistance or we get annoyed by it, then we're actually just halting our manifesting. We're halting the working through the resistance, and we're just stuck in, well, it's silly, right? But resisting the resistance. And I want you to really get clear on this. And the best way to get clear on it is awareness, is to understand that when you have the awareness, you are resisting your next level. So let me give you an example. Maybe you are desiring to bring more money in, okay? And you're committing and you're saying, I want to start bringing in $10,000 a month with my business. And you want that, okay? That's your desire. Okay, awesome. You have the desire. But then your belief system, whatever you have been taught to believe, whatever you have been believing, is still there. And if it's not in congruence, if you were not taught that it was possible to have a successful spiritual business, if you were not taught that it's possible to make more money than your parents did, if you were not taught that it's possible to not go to college and make more money than your friends who did go to college, right? There can be all this reasoning and stories as to why it's not possible. And yet it's what you desire. And this is where resistance is born. Now, it's very important to identify, what are my old beliefs around this? Do I believe that this is possible for me? And if not, well, what am I believing instead? And how can I turn it around? How can I decide right now that I'm going to look at it in a new way? And it's truly the awareness that shifts these patterns, because the pattern has control when you are not aware. When you become aware, you have the control. You, the one who is making the decisions, the one who is desiring something greater than what you currently have. Now, these beliefs are also here for you just to unravel. And the unraveling, again, is through the awareness. I also want to point out that there could be another reason you're having resistance. So, for example, you're desiring the $10,000. You have seen evidence that it can be true. You know that you can have it. Your beliefs match it, but you still have resistance. This could be because of your willingness. I want you to look at this as a triangle of resistance in one corner, beliefs in the other corner, and willingness in another corner. Now, whatever it is that you're thinking you need to do to create the $10,000, it's not just about some random thing that you just want. It's about also taking the action to get it, right? This is the action portion. The law of action states that when you take action, you create results. So what I want you to think about is really, are you being clear about how you're going to get it? So if you're thinking, I want this money, I want it to come in, but you have no plan as to how you're going to get it, and actually maybe you even have a plan, but it's not a plan you even want to do. Maybe it's you have to show up on Facebook Live every day for a year. Maybe it's you need to do something that's way outside your comfort zone and you're not quite ready for that thing. So then you're having resistance because you're actually just unwilling, okay? And you need to understand that this is different than believing. So your beliefs are optional. Your willingness is also optional, but more likely you're going to actually just decide what you're willing to do, okay? But you're also going to shift your beliefs. So I really need you to understand that there are multiple ways to look at this. So you want to go through the process of first, obviously, you're declaring what it is you desire. I desire this. Okay, what resistance is coming up for me? Do I have resistance because I believe that it's not true and I don't believe I can have it? Or do I have resistance because I'm not actually willing to do what it is I would need to do to have it? And when you decide between that, oh my gosh, can you see how much more power you have? You really show up with so much more authority in yourself and your own life, and you're able to work through the resistance. So, taking the $10,000 thing, desire. If I desire that I want $10,000, but I do not have a belief I can have it, in fact, my family says that I'm crazy and I have no support in getting it. Well, I know where to start, right? I know to start with those beliefs. So what I want you to do is to do the belief work. I want you to write down the beliefs that are coming up, and then I want you to question them. Are they real? Is this real? People who make $10,000 a month are greedy and horrible. Is that true? Is that true? No, that is not true. Okay, the truth is what? When I make $10,000 a month, or $10,000 randomly, whenever, a week, I show up bigger and better in my message, and I also have more money to give away to people who need it. That is a vastly different story, isn't it? And so it's about rewriting these stories and getting really clear.
And then what can happen is maybe you've cleared that, but now the question is, am I willing to do what it would take to have it? And if the model of creating that money is not in alignment with you and what you actually desire on a daily basis and to do with your energy, then you go back to the drawing board and to know that you get to design your life. You get to decide what you do to create that money. And don't let anybody tell you different than this. This is one of the sort of issues I have with the online space, is that there's so many cookie cutter formulas. And if you're not in alignment with it, you think you're going to fail, or maybe you do fail at it, and you think it's a reflection of you. It is 100% not a reflection of you. If one, you don't believe you can have it, and two, you're not even willing to do what it takes to get it. So then we go back to the drawing board. Maybe it's not even $10,000 a month. So I actually was having a talk with a friend the other day, and she was saying she wants the $1 million business. And I said, great. Well, what are you willing to do? And she thought about it, and she said, I don't actually want a $1 million business. I'd actually be fine with a $100,000 business and really just being taken care of and being able to have some ease and grace in my life. And so look at how easy it is to desire something because we think that that's what we want, or we think, everyone else wants it, so we think we should want it. And then we're never actually in alignment with it. We're not in alignment with our belief system or with what we're willing to do. And then we create a bunch of evidence that we're a failure, and we decide that we're not worthy. Okay? We are always looking for evidence that we're not worthy. Can you relate to this? I know I do this all the time. This is going to create resistance in your life because you're going to be looking for evidence to prove that you were gonna fail, or that you did fail, and that you weren't even worthy in the first place. And this is really important to notice. What evidence are you creating for yourself? And when you feel the resistance, it's really an opportunity to ask yourself, well, am I willing to do the thing to have the thing? Am I believing I can have the thing? And if you clear those things, then you're probably not going to have resistance anymore. And if you do still have resistance, it's because you don't actually even desire it in the first place. Meaning you get to change at any time. No matter if you've had a dream or a desire your whole life and you realize, hey, that dream was really about someone else. I don't even want that anymore. Maybe it's time to give yourself permission that it's not for you, and to understand that your desires are also desiring you. That when you hook into an idea of what your next level is, or what it is you're meant to do, or what it is you want for your life, that is already available for you. So the best thing we can do is to become very clear about what we desire, because on a subconscious level, it's constantly running. The energetics of it is constantly in your body and mind, and then your frequency. So if you're not desiring something, get clear about that. Let it go. Let it go. And I'll just share with you really quickly a short story. When I was a personal trainer, I did that for 12 years, and I also did life coaching, and it was the dream I had, was to help people, to work for myself. I did that. I accomplished that. But when I really started waking up to the idea that I had more to share, that I actually wanted to teach universal principles and go more into my spirituality and the personal development that I'd worked on for so long, I had to give myself the permission that it was not my desire to work in fitness anymore. And I remember it being such a profound thing, where we think it's a big deal to decide what we want. Sometimes it's a big deal to decide that we don't want something we already have. So maybe there's something in your life like this for you, that you've been saying yes, yes, yes for so long that it feels like you have to continue to say yes to that. But I'm here to give you a permission slip to say you don't need to continue to say yes to things that do not serve you, and that the sight you have now is the most important thing. That how you feel now and how you want to move forward in your life now is true. It is true, and it's real, and you are totally worthy of having it all. And it's so powerful to identify where the resistance is. So just to recap, You want to get clear on the fact that yes, it is resistance. You're not moving forward. You're feeling a stagnation. You're feeling like, maybe this desire is not for me. And then we check in with understanding what kind of resistance is it? Is it because I don't believe I can have it? Well, then we work on the beliefs. Is it because I'm not actually even willing to do what it would take to get it, and I need to sort of devise a plan and work with the desire in a way that I will actually want it, right? Like do it the way I want to do it? Or is it maybe that the desire you've been saying you want is not actually even in alignment for you? And so checking in with all those things gives you so much power in the resistance that comes up. And then what you get to do is just be kind to yourself, to allow it to dissipate. I'm not a big fan of saying that you have blocks or like feeling like you have to bust through something. It doesn't have to be that way. It can just be a shift. The law of perpetual transmutable energy, which is a law of the universe, is always working for you to shift. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be the shift of a perspective, the shift of a belief, the shift around what you're willing to do, the shift around whatever the desire was. Just know that it can be easier than you think, and that you are allowed to shift and change, and to allow yourself the ease within it. And as you do that, and as you develop that relationship even more with yourself of grace and kindness and love, you allow yourself to shift more easily, and that's how the resistance dissipates. So I want you to think about it that way. Like it needs to dissipate. It doesn't need to disappear. It doesn't need to go away. It's not doing anything wrong. It's helping you clarify. It's helping you clarify. And when you are clear, that is when you are a channel of receptivity, and you supercharge receiving your desires. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, use it whenever you need to allow resistance to dissipate through clarity. So much love to you.